Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 7-point favorite right now. And I think the biggest question right now is Marcel Reed's health. Now, it sounds like Mike Elko has said he's going to play. There aren't really any concerns about that, but this is a team that needs him to be in the game. He brings an element that no other quarterback in this roster has, and they need him to be back. You look at what they did last year. Could they have used Marcel Reed more? I think you can make an argument for that, but it's too late. You can't do anything about that. You can only do what you can do in this one. Now, going on the road is going to be a little bit more difficult, but this is a team that's 2-0, and Marcel Reed has played a big part in that. And his ability to be efficient as a passer is going to come into play here in this game. Now, maybe they're able to run the football efficiently, because right now I think that Notre Dame's defensive line is better than people expected, but I also think it still has some deficiencies. Texas A&M's offensive line is very good. So I think that you're going to see a team that relies on the run regardless of if Marcel Reed is the quarterback or not. And as far as we're concerned, he's playing. So we'll see what happens there, but I think that their ability to run the football is going to be a big part of their success. And that much is going to be true throughout the year, but especially against Notre Dame. Winning the physical battle that you're going to have, especially for your offense, will set the tone, will dictate the pace, and will tell you if you're going to have success. It's also going to open up the play action for Marcel Reed to find some easier throws to hit. I think getting him in rhythm early is something that Colin Klein is going to have to do. Finding plays that work for you, that get your quarterback comfortable, is a big way to help you win football games on the road. Defensively, I think that you have to be physical up front. That much is very obvious. And I think that the defensive line, like we talked about heading into the season, is a lot better than I think people realize. And being physical up front is a great way to slow down Notre Dame. It's also a way to pressure CJ Carr. I think at times Miami got to him in week 1 and it really rattled him. And there were other times where he stayed calm and collected. Finding ways to rattle him will be a big part of it. This is a young guy that is still learning the game of college football and understanding how things all work. He is going to need some time to get comfortable once again. This is another big time matchup for him, and he's going to have a different type of test. Facing Mike Elko will provide you with different challenges. Being physical up front is going to start that, and you're going to find that life is a lot easier when you're limiting that rushing attack and forcing CJ Carr to maybe beat you with his arm. Getting explosive plays for Texas A&M is going to be a big part of it as well. I think that your ability to find explosive plays through the rushing attack will be part of that. But if you can find those in the passing attack too, that's also great. We've seen some of these plays. KC Concepcion has had some explosive plays. Meyer Craver has had some explosive plays. Finding those explosives will be a big way to guarantee your success in this one. I think there's plenty of reason why you should be excited about your opportunity, but it's a Notre Dame defense that has a ton of talent. It's going to be tough. Throwing the football against this Notre Dame team is not easy. Now, there are opportunities maybe in the slot for you to find ways to be successful, but you have to find them. And if you're Texas A&M, you feel very confident about what you could potentially do, even with some of the concerns you have. On the Notre Dame side of things, CJ Carr, I think, is going to be really fun to watch this year. I think he showed tremendous poise at times, and he bounced back from some difficult plays. I think in the Miami game, we saw him struggle at times, and then something clicked in his brain where he realized, you know what? I'm going to at least stay calm. I'm going to make sure that I'm making the right decisions and making some big plays. I don't necessarily have to play hero ball. I just have to take what the defense is giving me. And while Texas A&M isn't going to give you a ton, you have to find those plays where the defense kind of has a lapse. The defense struggles a little bit, and Notre Dame has the ability to scheme things up. Mike Denbrock has done a good job in the one game they've done so far this year, and I think you're going to open up the playbook a little bit more. Now, you do, in my opinion, you got to get Jeremiah Love the ball way more. There was a stretch against Miami where he just didn't touch the ball. And I don't necessarily know it because we've seen this a couple of times so far. We saw this when Iowa State was playing Kansas State. Carson Hansen didn't touch the ball for a long chunk of time. And I don't know if it's teams that have good depth at running back, they're using the backup to kind of wear down those teams. That's something to keep an eye on. Jeremiah Love, maybe that's what they were trying to do. I don't necessarily know. I'm not in the meetings. I don't know what Mike Denbrock is thinking, but I do know that Jeremiah Love needs to touch the ball more and needs to run the ball more than 10 times. Yes, you have a good running back room, but Jeremiah Love is obviously the most talented player in your running back room. Getting him the football more is only going to make sense. It's only going to help CJ Carr, and it's only going to help this offense. Finding ways to slow down Marcel Reed as a runner and kind of just force him to beat you as a passer is really going to have a big impact on the game. Marcel Reed is not a guy that can shred you as a pocket passer. And I'm very curious to see how Chris Ash and Marcus Freeman decide to handle that. How do they address that? What kind of challenges do they present to him? And how do they put him in conflict of making plays, making smart decisions? That is something to keep an eye on. When it comes to who's going to win this game, last year, I think a lot of people expected one result, you got another. This year, I think a lot of people are anticipating Notre Dame. Texas A&M is still a very good team. Now, Marcel Reed's status is probably going to dictate a lot. Right now, I'd say I would lean Notre Dame. They're at home. I think that they had a tough game against Miami, and it's another tough one here, but they're prepared for that. They're in a comfortable environment, and it's going to be fun regardless. Marcel Reed's return and his health is going to have a big impact on this game. Either way, it's going to be really fun.